Way. Lakers fine-tuning against the Suns. Chris Paul sitting this one out with ankle soreness. His teammate Devin Booker took charge, got the team off to a hot start. Booker had 15 points on 5 of 6 shooting in that first quarter. He definitely set the tone. He steps back and hits a 3, knocks it down. Booker had 27 points, 8 of 12 from the field. But what about LeBron? What about Anthony Davis? Is that what you're wondering about? I thought so. Here's LeBron. Here's AD. They were pretty good. Davis finds LeBron who hits a 3. Then LeBron would finish a layup through contact. That always works. 5 minutes left in the half. Lakers down 18. It's LeBron James who had 20 points, 8 boards, 4 assists in 25 minutes of play. As for Anthony Davis, just incredible from long distance. I mean, big time. There's an example. You want another example? It happened a minute later. Knocking down another 3, 6 of 7 from three-point range was Anthony Davis, and it continued. Well, you know, you're going to give him the space. He'll take advantage. Anthony Davis had 35 points, 11 of 16 from the field overall in this one. And I think they're ready for the regular season, don't you? They took out the Suns. It was close, but you won't remember the score, but I'll tell you anyway, 114-113.
A slow start.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Matter of fact, I expect them to. I wouldn't mind if they do. I have no problem whatsoever. When we talk about load,
2 months since the Lakers won the title in the bubble, and last night LeBron and AD went back to work, combining for 21 points in yesterday's preseason win over the Suns. Perk back here with us. Stephen A., starting with you. Will you be worried, though, if the Lakers get off to a slow start?
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Matter of fact, I expect them to. I wouldn't mind if they do. I have no problem whatsoever. When we talk about load management, is much as I have been profoundly against that over the years. It's with the exception is LeBron James. If LeBron James, for any reason, said, you know what, I don't want to start playing till January. As a league, we should stand up and support him. Seriously. I mean, with the work that this man has put in, it doesn't bother me at all. And so I know he's not going to do that. That's why he showed up there last night. He's going to be ready for opening night, at least to some capacity. But I think that if the Lakers do start off, I'm not concerned at all, because not only are they great, they're experienced. So when you look at LeBron James, I think that this is one of the rare breeds that has graduated to the point where he doesn't even need to be questioned about anything that's taking place in the regular season. Everything about him should be measured by postseason play. If this guy decides to take his foot off the gas, if he decides when to amp it up, whatever the case may be, you defer to his judgment. When you've been to 10 NBA finals, when you've won 4 championships, and when we just finished experienced a global pandemic, the likes of which we hadn't seen for a century, and somehow, some way, when we consider the collapse that we witnessed with the Los Angeles Clippers because of them being devoid of leadership and what have you, although it was nice to see Kawhi Leonard and Jimmy Kimmel last night. Bottom line is that LeBron James and the Lakers didn't have that problem. And so I don't think there's anything to be worried about with the Lakers, a slow start or anything like that, because they have the greatness of Anthony Davis, who's one of the top 3 players in the world. And they have the best player in the world, who's the best leader in basketball. And that man is LeBron James. I don't think there's anything to be concerned about.
I don't know what's happening today, but for the second straight segment, I don't know maybe I have a fever or something. I don't know. I'm coming down with something. I agree with Stephen A. I agree, maybe for slightly different reasons, but right on. I'm not worried about the Lakers' slow start at all. Stephen A., let's be honest. The LeBron James teams of the past have often started slow, right? Miami had a slow start at one year. Cleveland had some slow starts, because LeBron's figuring out, how do I get this group to the promised land? And in the meantime, he's 100 years old. He has more miles than anyone on his legs, and he has to pace himself. Now, last year, Anthony Davis came on First Take and told us he challenged LeBron to set the tone on defense. And I think AD was probably right last year, like with a new group of guys and this superstar combination. It's important for your best player to set that tone. And for a lot of the season, LeBron did play better regular season defense than he had in years. But given his age and his mileage, it's, I think, not responsible even to expect him to play defense, for example, all regular season. And sometimes the other guys on the team, even if AD's setting that example, slack off a little bit too when their leader doesn't do it, although Montrezl Harrell plays some defense, some other guys will too. The point is, LeBron knows how to pace himself and knows his body. How do I get to be in the playoffs where when I need to put the pedal to the metal, I still got something in the tank? He's usually done that in the past. This past season, he basically kept the pedal to the metal all year. But I wouldn't even recommend that he does that again. He's signed up for multiple years. He needs to pace himself so he's ready to go when they need him most. And if the Lakers get off to a slow start while LeBron's figuring it all out, no big deal, because when the lights are brightest, he'll show up.
Well, I'm not worried about the Lakers at all. Matter of fact, the only thing I'm worried about is the Lakers coming out and dominating the league. Because when you look at this roster, in my opinion, this is the best roster on paper that LeBron James has had in the last 4 years. And no disrespect to last year's championship team, but when you look at the additions that Rob Pelinka made, I'm looking at this, and LeBron can pace himself. He can take games off and do load management because they have weapons. They have guys that could come in and get the job done and deliver in great fashion. And when I say that, I'm looking at a guy like Dennis Schroeder, who's capable in the regular season, especially is capable of going for 30 plus a night. You got Montrezl Harrell, another guy that's capable of giving you 20 a night if LeBron just decides not to play that night. And then you have Anthony Davis, along with Wes Matthews, along with Marcus Gasol, along with Taylor Horton Tucker, who keeps thriving, and even Kyle Kuzma. Although I disagree with his style of play at times, although I disagree with Kyle Kuzma at times on how he plays the game of basketball, one thing about it, when he gets hot, he gets hot. So with the Lakers roster, job well done by Rob Pelinka, I'm worried about them coming out and dominating too early.
Oh, I'm sorry, Max. You did. No,
right.
I was going to. I'm sorry, Max. I thought you was going to go.
Go.
Listen,
Jump in.
I'm not
Stephen
worried.
A.
I'm
not worried. I'm not worried
Stephen
about
A. Max, Stephen A. and Max, that's how it be. Sometimes y'all get quiet when Big Perk come on here speaking the gospel. Y'all get caught up in what I be saying and loving how I'm delivering this good gospel. And sometimes you just got to fall back and listen. Yeah, that's what it is.
First of all, you know better. Secondly, respect your elders. Thirdly, and more importantly, that is factually incorrect, Kendrick Perkins. I mean, the fact of the matter is you do drop a lot of science, and I love you to death. But there are some things that you say sometimes I'll be wondering about you, bro. I'll be wondering about you sometimes.
Yeah,
not most, not all, but sometimes, yes.
I feel sorry for your loss. Because you're not being open-minded. When I tell you certain things, I'm just trying to teach you.
I was just under the impression you wanted to debate us on this, that you thought that you would be worried if they got off to a slow start. But since we all agree, next topic.
All right, Perk, leave it, folks, at a loss for words. Don't worry, I got plenty more topics to come your way. Still to come, guys. It doesn't look like the Heat are getting their respect.